Hi everyone, my name's Lily and I'm the book reviewer behind Utopia State of Mind, and we are back with another Librofm video. If you are new to the channel or new to this series, basically every month I go through the sale audiobook picks for Librofm and I tell you what I would recommend and also what is on my TBR and in my cart. I have not been filming videos for a while. I also missed some Librofm videos as well from the last couple months, so I'm really glad to be back. If you don't know what Librofm is, it is an independent audiobook subscription service. Basically, you pay every month for a credit, and then you can use that on audiobook that is yours forever, and it is digital rights management free or DRM free, basically. You do not have to have an active audiobook membership to buy these sale books that I'm going to be talking about today. You just get an extra 30% off the sale prices if you are an active member, but you don't have to be a member. You can kind of just buy these for the sale price anyway. So I'm going to first start off with a Kiss Club, and then I'm going to talk about kind of just sale audiobooks in general. The Kiss Club is a curated playlist, so that does not mean that all of these books are the only romance books available. And the Librofm sale for December, these are just a curated playlist. The first one, which is on my TBR, is Roll for Love by M.K. England. I have really loved M.K. England's books in the past, and also a D&D style contemporary book is kind of right up my wheelhouse, and I'm very excited for this one, but I have not read it yet. I did pre-order a copy and also get the beautiful pre-order stickers associated with it. The next one is The 5 Stages of Courting Dallas Ramos. I read this one, and I'm pretty sure I also read this one on audiobook. I really enjoyed this one. I love seeing these kind of 5 stages of courting, but also really getting to know a person and seeing the rituals of courting, rituals of dating that are different than what I have previously experienced. So this was great. Also, Melissa de la Cruz has a really kind of varied amount of writing styles, writing genres, writing age groups. So I really enjoyed kind of seeing this adult debut from de la Cruz. The next one is The Legend of Maneka. I really enjoyed this one. If you love unique, interesting magic systems, Kritika's book is so fabulous. I have been following and reading Kritika's stuff for a really long time, and The Legend of Maneka has some really great dancing magic, but also it's kind of this world of gods and goddesses and this fantastical world that feels really lush, immersive, and as I said, I really love unique magic types or unique magic systems, and this one definitely fits the bill. It's also the first of a duology, so you can pick this one up and then kind of be ready for the second one. And speaking of duologies, Lore of the Tides, which is a sequel to Lore of the Wilds, is on sale. I read Lore of the Wilds, but I have not read Lore of the Tides. But anyway, it is a sequel, and it's book 2 in the duology, so it's the finale. If you've read the first one and have not picked up the second one already, you can pick this one up on audiobook. Mixed Signals, which is the third book in the Love Light series by B.K. Borison, is on sale. I have not read Mixed Signals. I have only read Love Light Farms, but I own all of these because at various times they're kind of all on sale, and so I've picked them up at various times, and so they are on my TBR, but I haven't read this. I really loved dual audiobook narrators as well, and Mixed Signals fits the bill, so have to recommend that one if you're similar to me and kind of are behind on the series. Good Spirits, which is B.K. Borison's latest release, is also on sale. This kind of Christmassy holiday romance. I'm pretty sure that, yes, he is the ghost of Christmas past. What more can you expect? It just sounds super fun. This I actually own a copy of already, and I really want to read this one. I'm so tempted to pick it up in audiobook though, because I've actually read all of B.K. Borison's books in the audiobook, and actually I realized that I did get this book on October 1st. So this might be kind of a dual reading experience, which I really like, kind of reading a book like that when I can immerse in it when I'm walking or, commuting, and then I can also snuggle up before bed and read it as well. So Good Spirits is on my TBR. I've really loved all of the books I've read by B.K. Borison, so excited for that one. You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Dara is on sale. I would recommend this one because it's the first in the Primas of Power series. I really loved Alexis's work in the past. I have read You Had Me at Hola, and I've really also enjoyed, I think I also read the second one in this series. I really enjoyed these ones. They're really fun. Basically, this one has to do with soap opera star, and kind of this messy public breakup, and then kind of casting in a telenovela. So if you really love contemporary romances and also series, I feel like contemporary romance series do not get enough love, and so I would definitely recommend that one. Radiant Sin, which is book 4 in the Dark Olympus series, is on sale. Radiant Sin is the last one that I haven't read. So there's the first 3, which I have read, but Radiant Sin I have not read. Dark Restraint is also on sale. This is book 7 of the Dark Olympus series. I have totally just fallen off the bandwagon in terms of keeping up with this series. Katie Robert is such a fantastically talented romance book author, but I cannot keep up. So I have not read this series in a very long time. I feel like every month at least one of these books is on sale. So if you're kind of collecting them like I have been, then you'll probably want to add this to the cart. The Roommate Risk is on sale, and I loved this one. I listened to this one on audiobook, and it is fantastic. Talia Hibbert is like auto-buy queen status for me, and this book in audiobook format was just so good. It is a dual narrator. I love hearing accents in audiobooks, and I love a good friends to lovers, and this one, the pining, the tension, the yearning is just like so good. It is so delectable, so tasty and delicious. It is just, if you love yearning and pining and the friends to lovers romance arc, this one has to be on your TBR. The Other Side of Infinity, which is a YA book, is also here. I loved this kind of, it's not timey-wimey, but I loved this. She basically, let me go back. She basically sees the death of this person at the pool, and so she tries to kind of figure out if she can avoid it, but in that process they end up sort of falling in love. But it's this kind of interesting book about love, interesting book about kind of facing what you think will be the end and the idea of fate. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I was not expecting to, just because I didn't know really how it was going to be, but I really loved this. It's a dual narrator audiobook as well, and I think it was a really fun kind of twist about looking at this in a YA sphere. We're going to chat now about sale audiobooks. The first one that I saw that was worth pointing out to me was A Study in Drowning. So A Study in Drowning now has A Theory of Dreaming, which is the second book. And so I would recommend this one if you want to get into the series. A Study in Drowning has a lot of hype. I really enjoyed A Study in Drowning. I kind of love a good academic kind of falling into decay kind of setting, and A Study in Drowning fits the bill. I will say though that it's hard because I read A Theory of Dreaming so recently that my thoughts on that one are so much stronger, and I really enjoyed that one. And so as I was reading, I was kind of like, I think I like that one better. But now that I'm looking at it and remembering my feelings again, I'm just not sure anymore. But anyway, if you love that and you also love a book that quietly also talks about kind of the sexism within the this academic setting as well, that is an undercurrent theme that I think gets drawn on and explored a lot more as the book goes, and also in the sequel, and that was probably my favorite element of this series. So Let Them Burn is on sale. I really liked this one. It is a book about dual perspective book about sisters. I love sister books, but this one is also an interesting one about kind of the chosen one and the not chosen one. For me, the chosen one trope is something that I'm so fascinated by, but specifically also what happens when you're the not chosen one and what happens when you do something wrong as the chosen one. Like, it just is such a meaty concept that I really love exploring. And Camilla Cole does a fabulous job in this book series. There's also dragon riding. Like, it just has everything that I really love all in one, and the themes of that are really fantastically explored. I have not read the sequel, because I've not read the sequel, but I really want to recommend this one as well. Immortal is on sale. I'm a huge Su Lin Tan fan. Immortal is so beautiful. It is a standalone romance fantasy, basically. It is about a ruler who has to forge a alliance with the god of war to protect her kingdom. I really enjoyed the play on like gods and not gods and what that kind of responsibility and power and those dynamics are in this book. It was so good. I really love Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Heart of the Sun Warrior, but this one to me feels a little bit more romantic in some senses, just because the other one you have the romance and action kind of spread over two books. This one, it's just kind of like one gut punch all at once. And so Immortal was so fabulous. I had such high hopes because I had read the other two books, and this one just still exceeded those expectations. The 5th season is on sale. If you haven't read the 5th season and you love fantasy books, you need to just stop this video and go get it, because N.K. Jemisin is such a fantastic writer, and the 5th season is the first N.K. Jemisin book I ever read, and it is still one of my favorite books today. I do not know if I can think of many books in my mind that parallel or even match this extensive world building that is just so beautifully laid out. It is so complex, it is so well thought out, and it is so mysterious and magical and powerful without being over encompassing or overwhelming. The 5th season is so good. There's very little I can talk about the 5th season that doesn't immediately spoil it, but basically it's kind of like we're looking at this book that kind of starts out feeling a little bit singular, but then really explores and expands and explodes into this fantastic world. It is such a good series, so underhyped, but the 5th season is just, if you haven't read it, just read it. The Starving Saints is on my TBR, and also I already own a copy of it, but basically I really enjoyed it. I saw the promo and the pre-order campaign for it, and not only is it clearly going to delve into religion and kind of that kind of element, also beekeeping, because there are bees on the front. It is just a book that from the concept and premise alone has completely made it something that I've had to read. It's been described in this quote from Librofm as a medieval pseudo-historical horror tale, and that to me is just so much up my alley. I really need to read this. I remember seriously contemplating just pre-ordering it as well, just from that like premise alone. And it basically, there's this castle, it's been under siege for months, and so the castle stores are replenished. And the saints have arrived, but no one really knows why, no one really knows how, and that's kind of the beginning of this mystery. It's been described as also very bizarre, and so I'm very intrigued. The Hurricane Wars is on sale. This is the first of the Hurricane Wars series. I have enjoyed this series. I always have a little bit of reservations about certain aspects of it, so I will leave my reviews down below because I've talked about that a lot on this channel. I really enjoyed elements of the Hurricane Wars, and I also really enjoyed elements of A Monsoon Rising. I will continue to read the series because I really have enjoyed the political sort of scheming as well that you'll see specifically in the Hurricane Wars. So if you love that, but also love a dash of romance, you should read this. The romance, funnily enough, was my least favorite aspect of the Hurricane Wars. In A Monsoon Rising, I also feel like it overcorrects a little bit and throws us straight into romance. I didn't hate that as much because I did feel like we needed that romantic development, but then some of the elements I loved from the first one kind of got put on the back burner, and I'm intrigued to see how the series will progress. But I still recommend this one because I still think it's really enjoyable and really interesting. Before I Let Go is on sale. I actually have this one behind me. It is the first in the Skyland series. I read the Skyland series kind of out of order, but Before I Let Go, which you can't see, but here, Before I Let Go, I listened to this one in audiobook and I really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed Kennedy Ryan books so much recently, and I've kind of been just reading them as much as I can. This is a really good book. if you love people who are struggling with their marriages. I think that we don't see this enough in romance books. This we focus a lot on the happily ever after, and we just kind of assume everything's going to be fine forever. I don't think that's entirely fair or true. And so I feel like Before I Let Go is this really beautiful examination of kind of the things that life can throw at you that you never really expect, and that you also don't expect will break you. You don't expect will change you. You kind of always have this idealistic thing like, we'll be fine forever. But I think that Before I Let Go is this really gorgeous examination of that specific moment, and that's kind of why I love this one the most in the series. The Night and the Moth is on sale. The Night and the Moth is one of my favorite books of 2025, so when I saw that this was on sale, I immediately had to make this video because it is so good. I love the way that it talks about religious trauma and also what it feels like to have those moments in which a worldview that you've had for your entire life, you start to question, you start to see it kind of crumble beneath you, and you start to understand that obedience without questions isn't love, basically. And so The Night and the Moth is this beautiful, fantastical fantasy story about that. There are gods, there are omens, there's religion. It is just so gorgeous. There's also a lovable companion as well. I really enjoyed Rachel Gillig's past books, the Tarot Card Magic series, One Dark Window, I think. And so I knew that Rachel has a really great way of taking these fantastical world premises and really going with these unique worlds. But I didn't expect how much I was going to also connect to the main characters and also kind of just connect to all of the characters in the book. So that has to be one of my favorite books that I read this year. I also wanted to mention that Carapaces is on sale if you want to read it and see what everyone is chatting about. I've also been experiencing a lot of people that I know in my life who have been reading it and then coming back to me with their thoughts. So I just want to know everybody's thoughts. And so it is on sale. And lastly, Piranesi by Susanna Clark is on sale. I did not like Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, okay? I made a video about it, and I will link it down below, but I did not like it. Piranesi, though, I really enjoyed. This was a really fantastic world. It was also the right length. If you saw my Jonathan Strange video, you will know that I hated how long that was. But this one was so good. And actually, I read this one first, which is why I felt so good going into Jonathan Strange and why I felt so betrayed leaving Jonathan Strange. So if you like a really interesting, encapsulated world concept that gives you enough to really make an impact but doesn't overwhelm you and also isn't super shallow, it's just right. Piranesi is the book. I cannot really describe too much about it because it feels a little bit difficult. Basically, Piranesi is the main character of the book, and basically there are notebooks, and in the notebooks he is recording what happens in his house, but there are just always mysteries and always these magical adventures, and you're not really sure if it's real, and you're also not really sure about whether or not these recollections are correct, is all I'll really say, because I don't want to spoil it, but basically he also sees messages and starts to wonder if there's someone else in the house. So that brings me to the end of my Librofm video for December. I'm really excited to be back at it again. Let me know down below what your current audiobook read is, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!